Will it mark a catastrophic occurrence, as some ancient cultures suggest? Many believe the date is targeting a rare astrological phenomenon called the galactic alignment that may trigger unspeakable chaos. The recently uncovered Lost Book of Nostradamus contains 7 stark images that also might point to 2012. Is this proof that there was ancient knowledge of a coming event?
The 7 images in the Lost Book of Nostradamus are telling us a story, and that's why they're united by this wheel of fortune or wheel of time at the top. This is the part that Nostradamus really wants us to recognize, emphasize, and understand. Those images start with the sun, and under the sun is a lion. It's obviously calling attention to the fact that when the sun is in Leo, this is somehow important. When the sun is in Leo, or when the sun is in the opposite sign, Aquarius, that means we're at the galactic alignment.
This is another reference by Nostradamus to the galactic alignment. Many believe the Maya discovered this intriguing phenomena caused by the Earth's rotation hundreds of years ago. If the Earth spun perfectly on its axis, the view of the sky above would never change. But because it spins slightly off-center in a wobble motion, our view of the stars shifts slowly over time. Every 26,000 years, this background lines up so that the sun appears to rise directly in front of the center of the galaxy, creating what some call the galactic alignment.
Clearly, Nostradamus was aware of the time period from roughly 1992 to roughly 2012-2014 as being enormously significant because of the number of quatrains that we can specifically identify as having some reference to this time period. It's the idea that he pinpointed astronomically the moment in which the sun is most directly conjunct with the center of the galaxy. That's a pretty good hit.
Nostradamus uses a variety of methods to derive his quatrains. But his understanding of the heavens is crucial to his work. He is an astute astrologer who believes that the map of the future is embedded in the stars.
To a certain degree, his basic idea of forecasting the future is based on the idea that time is cyclical, that there are motions of the sun and the moon and the stars, and that as those patterns, those angles between planets repeat, that there would be similar events.
In order to chart these coming events, Nostradamus studies changes in the night sky, some that take decades to play out.
Seems to have been aware of what we call the precession of the equinox, in which that the whole night sky is moving slowly backwards 1 degree every 72 years.
This is a direct reference to the coming galactic alignment that may be at the heart of the 2012 phenomenon. The Earth's off-center rotation means that our view of the stars shifts very slowly, changing only 1 degree every 72 years. Amazingly, some researchers believe this was precisely charted by the ancient Mayan civilization. The Mayans used their gift for understanding the Earth's movements to create a remarkably precise calendar, one that has endured for thousands of years. It ends on December 21st, 2012.
Once every 26,000 years, we line up through the December solstice sun with the center of the Milky Way galaxy. This seems to be the reason why the Maya picked December 21st of 2012 to end their great cycle.
The Mayan civilization thrives in Central America between the years 250 and 900 CE, then mysteriously disappears. Both scientifically sophisticated and savage, they are able to predict the galactic alignment without telescopic tools and seem to associate it with a cycle of violent change.
If we go back 26,000 years ago to the last time that we entered into Aquarius, we find that this is the beginning of Cro-Magnon man, the end of Neanderthal. The first campfires are found at this point, and we can see that there are these incredible historical correspondences. We know that the last time that the galactic alignment happened, hundreds of species disappeared.
Skeptics claim that an ancient interpretation of the stars is unlikely to have any significant impact on our lives. But the astonishing achievements of ancient Mayan astronomers still mystifies experts today.
Until recently, we looked at most of the higher civilizations or advanced cultures in the Americas as being slightly below what had developed in the West. But they were, in fact, anything but primitive. Particularly the Mayan, who are probably the greatest culture of astronomers on the planet.
The Maya believed that that black hole at the center of the Milky Way was the navel of the galaxy from which the stars were born. And today astronomers believe that, in fact, that black hole at the center of the galaxy is where the stuff that the stars and the planets are made. Pretty darn good for 1,500 years ago.
We still do not know how the Maya were able to pinpoint these amazingly accurate astronomical occurrences. But their obsession with the heavens is clear. They carefully position their temples and monuments to mirror the constellations. Some believe they even play out their predictions of the coming 2012 alignment on a mystical ball court, where the ball going through the stone hoop represents the sun aligning perfectly with the center of the galaxy, known as the Dark Rift.
The ball court is the Milky Way. The ball is also the December solstice sun. And the goal ring is the Dark Rift in the Milky Way.
This ritual ball game not only reenacts the alignment, but according to researchers, it also incorporates the possible life or death consequences the alignment brings. For if the players cannot get the ball through the hoop, their leader is brutally beheaded.
Now, Mayan society itself was far off in time from our time period. In other words, they were looking into the future to see the time period we're in now, when the sun would rise inside the ball court. But they were very aware of the fact that as this happened, there would be a great deal of change on the planet.
If researchers are right that the Maya end their calendar to coincide with the coming galactic alignment in 2012, is this a determined attempt to caution future generations?
The question becomes, how did the Mayans and Nostradamus, how do they all have the same idea? And why, now that we're approaching this time period, is the world seemingly going to hell? Which is what they said would happen.
The quatrains of Nostradamus hold intriguing warnings about the hazards that may lie ahead.
Because of heat like that of the sun on the sea, the fish around Negrepont will be half cooked, when in Rhodes and Genoa there is lack of food.
Some interpreters believe that this Nostradamus quatrain points to global warming as the trigger for a coming crisis.
Nostradamus seems to try to describe global warming as a fire in the sky, something as a blazing sun.
Since 1998, every single summer has been hotter than the summer before. Every single one.
Some suggest that the galactic alignment will coincide with a peak in solar activity. This controversial theory holds that the sun's impact on the Earth waxes and wanes over time, and that a solar peak can cause massive disruptions, including an increase in global temperatures.
Our own scientists are telling us that our solar cycle, the solar cycle of our sun right now, will peak right about the 2012 solstice, right in that time. And when it peaks, and this is a quote from the National Center of Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado, one of the scientists there used a highly technical term to describe what this peak would be. He said it would be a doozy.
They think that within the next year there probably won't be any ice on the North Pole in the summertime. for the first time in all of recorded human history.
The melting of the polar ice caps, the rising of sea level,